Alright folks, welcome back to another episode of Casting Conflicts here, and today, of course, is going to be the start of our February season, technically. So it should be a good one. We've got DeathsAdvocate taking on bolas here, and a bit of redemption, hopefully, for bolas after his previous matchup. And Twigan, how are you feeling about this one? Should be an interesting one considering what we've seen out of bolas in the past, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if we take a look at the decks, I think, the biggest thing for Bolas that he has going for him is going to be the Archie. Because not only does that negate Mercenary's execution randomly and Blue Firebolt, but more importantly, the
Right.
Raka bomb. That can spawn anywhere. It can spawn in the back, in the front, up, down. You have no control over where that Raka is going to spawn. And I think that's going to be really key for Bolas. So if he can pick up that DeathsAdvocate is running Raka, which he should if he looks at the decks, he should probably be a little bit more cautious with that Archie. Unless he has two, then he can start being a little bit more aggressive with the one. But I think that's going to be like Bolas' saving grace this match, if he's able to pull out that Archie.
Not to mention the Flamestorms and Dragon's Fires he's got packed into his deck to the brim. Definitely strong inclusions against decks that opt for a more spawn-heavy control style, especially like this one, where you're seeing 3 Altar, 3 Hovel. If those things get out early, of course they're going to mass-produce some units here, but, Bolas, I think, has got the great answer in the Flamestorm, and even if it gets too powerful, the Harmonic can, of course, do an extra bit of cleanup work for him as well. So excited to see this one. Excited to see, hopefully, Bolas take a set win here for his second season.
Unfortunately, he probably might add a Blue Firebolt, seeing how DeathsAdvocate is running, 3 copies of Rat Hovel and 3 copies of Unholy Altar, and his only real way of dealing with those is, Drain Life, Flamestorm, and if, an Imp hits it in with Chaotic Storm. So he might opt to, add in some Blue Firebolt, a little bit more direct damage to help out with those buildings in the back.
Perhaps. You do have a point there. Of course, his deck at the moment, really, the only way he can touch those buildings is through a Drain Life Flamestorm combination, or a Lucky Chaotic Bolt on that building and finish it with a Flamestorm. That works as well. But yeah, probably definitely interesting to see if he's going to make that inclusion into the deck. But it's only one way to find out if that's going to be the case. Do you want to hop into the match and see how match number 1 goes?
Oh, let's do it.
Alright folks, and welcome back to the battlefield here, as we're going to start off we're going to start off very strongly for DA today. Oh no.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I really hope Bolas, has a Flamestorm in his hand, so he can do a little bit, do some damage to all these armories, blacksmith and rat hovels that are just going to sit in the back.
He's got Imp. Was this? I don't know if this was in the main deck, actually.
It was. Yeah.
Oh, it was? All right, good. I'm just,
Imp was.
Sometimes I look at the main list, right, and I start like tripping out. I'm like, was that there in the first place? I have no idea. But yeah, okay. Rat Hovel going to be a strong start for Reaper to combat these imps. Of course, the rats can trade very nicely. Curious if he decides to put the blacksmith out this turn or bolt away the imp. Or, okay, looks like we're going to fear it back. That works too, but we're going to have to put this rat into that first one. Yep, okay.
Yeah. Hopefully he can high roll. I mean, like, what are you hoping? Yeah, spread the damage out since you don't have any heals.
I guess, especially
like you got 5 more buildings spawners in your deck.
Ooh, and Shaman's a nice pickup.
Yeah, probably play the Shaman instead. If he didn't pick up, oh wow. That's the worst feeling. That's the worst feeling. When you Shaman into a Shaman, like Shaman's already like
so
an
much has been
okay
accomplished.
Card.
So
yeah, an okay card. Yeah, you might as well just play skip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now it's not necessarily a bad position to be in if you're a DA here. You've got the Shaman for a bigger body to pass through like a Flamestorm. You've got some rats spawning going here. So far, the Hovel hasn't been touched more yet, so that could be a good sign. Meanwhile, Bolas has got, oh no, Drain Life. That's going to hit the, okay, Masuda. That's fine because this Imp goes into the rat for a trade rather than a kill.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I think, what do we do here though? Just another Shaman?
Shaman again? I mean, you don't want to waste a Vamp. You don't want to waste a Necrofear. Necromancer. I mean, you 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 could bolt, but come on, just shaman. You got
I feel like,
shaman.
yeah, Shaman's a better call here. Bolt is a little too heavy on the damage, and you especially could save that for something that Bolas has got later down the line that he might throw out next to kind of keep this aggro up. So if he plays
Right.
this right, I mean, we could just see Bolas's, yeah, like right here, Ajira. We could bolt the Ajira back and, have DA deal, or no, have Bolas deal with this Moth and Kaiser combo now.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I would probably blue fire bolt the Serpent Witch and just prepare for a big old Dragon's Fire next turn.
Actually, yeah, he can. He can blue fire the serpent, which actually put the
Hmm.
Behemothra in and block with Kaijir in face, because Dragon's Fire
Right.
can't kill it. So, and that is enough gold.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
no.
Benny Mothra, Kaiser, and then blue fire bolt, and then end your turn.
Yeah, that seems like the correct play to go here, and just hope that Bolas isn't going to, bring out something big and nasty like Dragon's Fire. Okay.
Ah! Oh, that is a Carson Castle conflict first. We have never seen that before. We have never seen a player mute the other player before.
I've never seen anyone mute anyone else, period.
So Reaper's gonna
Uncanny.
go
Alright.
for an armory instead.
Okay, a little
Uh,
unconventional, but I think still gets the job done in a way. I'd still say block, at least in some capacity here. Right, okay, yeah. I kind of
mhm.
see what he's going for. He might try to be baiting out bigger value out of the Dragon's Fire that's currently in his hand, because he's probably going to expect Serpent Witch to go into the Moth, but maybe, and then, of course, everything else kind of falls to a Dragon's Fire.
Right.
Unless we're going to do... Okay, Fear.
A fear that kind of spoils plans a bit. Eek.
Oh, more so now with the
Eek.
vanishing Kaijir or
Yeah.
Kajira, excuse me.
Yeah.
Blech.
Yeah. Now we're in a little trouble here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Serpent Witch hits face as well.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about that because even if the witch hits face, we know that Bolas's deck doesn't really have a lot of direct damage other than the Flamestorm Drain Life, unless he's got a collection of that in his hand right now.
It would be interesting to see if Bolas decides to play that thing again, knowing that he has a Betty Mother.
Nope, goes for the Lumberjack
Oh,
as of now. But yes, also
yeah.
continues to face. Ooh, quite a predicament.
Yeah. Yikes.
I mean, we could start spamming globals at this point. Like Blacksmith Armor doesn't seem too bad. You have enough to kill off the witch, and then you can even push that
Mm-hmm.
Kaijir forward for 7, and there's nothing to laugh at. He needs to play the blacksmith. Do not. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So
Blacksmith hit the Betty Mother and then double protect face just in case there's a little fear action. Oh, I guess you could hit the lumberjack
yeah,
too.
no, we want to hit the
Yeah,
lumberjack. We want to
yeah.
force him to be aggressive and maybe use the
There you
burns to
go.
get rid of that. Because I mean, we still have what a Nalakir in hand. That gives us more monsters, and that feeds this Behemothra in the back. So do we want to play that? Not so sure, unless again we just have a lot of burn, like double Flamestorm Drain Life ends this game. Uh,
Hmm. Now Bola still has that harmonic balance and flamestorm, so
He
maybe
literally
he's
has
not.
all 3 of those AoE, or all
Yeah,
6 of those AoE spells, excuse me, still in his deck somewhere. Shaman might be fishing one out right now as we speak.
yeah, yeah. So that kind of tells me that he doesn't have it yet. Kind of he's trying to fish for
Oh
it so
yeah,
then he can
that hurts. That hurts. Just shielding up at this point, I think that's definitely gonna hurt him.
get the vampire out and then.
Do you blue fire the shaman and start going for face to even things out? I think you do.
Uh, I
You
mean,
don't
you
know,
got 10 turns. You got 10 turns, so
but you don't
we're not.
know. We don't know when things like. Okay,
Oh, okay.
shaman
So
draw.
yeah, I don't think the draw was necessary here. We still have a lot of cards in our hands.
Mm,
I mean,
all
oh, he's
right.
running in the blacksmith. Okay, so now we're okay. We're just going full steam ahead now with the blacksmith with everything.
To be fair, I think we can be. I mean, we've got 2 armories as opposed to Bolas's nothingness in the back there.
Hmm.
Like three globals when you put the blacks in perspective. Yeah, this is going to be a big sort of game pusher. Now,
And
harmonic
now,
flamestorm.
yeah, and even if and we know for sure that he has that, yeah, Nigeria right there. Then that's only going to, okay. He's gonna be able to take out the Betty Mothra. But now, like you said, he's got the blacksmith, he's got the Kaijir, and now 5/6 shaman and Drake. Not so easy to clean up.
He can survive if he takes out the Kaijir, because on the board total it's 14 points worth of damage and no direct damage. He is doing a nice thing here with the Ajira fill up to hand, meaning that DA can't actually draw any more resources from his deck. Um,
Blue fire. I mean, blue firebolt. Blue firebolt. Yeah, just take him down to 2 damage, so that way you negate all flamestorm. I would have
yeah,
blue fire. I would have blue firebolt there and take Bolas down to 2 health, making it so that he cannot flamestorm this entire game.
I guess, but on the other side of things, well, I mean, he can
I
still
think it's a
no, yeah,
lock.
yeah, yeah.
I think it's a lock. I mean, you can either, yeah. I mean, you're just gonna spam all these units down.
You're gonna spam all the free Ajira material and just say, "Hey, deal with what you gave me. I don't even have to use my own deck to beat you."
Yeah. Now, and Bolas, he's got to draw his one outer,
His
his harmonic balance flamestorm. He's got to pull it out right
bro,
now, or is
he's
it game
got
over?
at least 8 cards in that hand, though. It's very possible. Let's not kid ourselves here. It's
Right.
very possible. I don't think he did it
And
though.
the longer he waits, the less likely he has it. Unless
Yeah.
he's thinking of ways to go off it. Dragon's Fire,
Even
Flamestorm.
then, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, just to
Like, look how much you're
say you
still leaving on
can.
the board. You're leaving both Kaijirs, the Behemothra.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no.
unfortunately, I think this is going to be a lock for Bolas and
Yep.
not being successful in game one, which is unfortunate. Had a good start, but just was not able to kind of deliver the final nail in the coffin. He had opportunities to, but I guess we never saw them in hand, and that is just, unfortunate, if anything. So it looks like
Right.
Moth is going to walk up right and deliver the 11 for the game as D8 takes game number 1 of the set. And a very impressive one at that, of course, coming back from what we thought was going to be Bolas's game for sure. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of excited to look back at the post match here and see what exactly happened for Bolas.
Mm,
I'm
that was unfortunate. That was unfortunate. I Oh, did you want me to say something towards the end right there?
no.
Oh.
All right, and welcome back, folks. Of course, match number 1 concluding here, and what a match for us. Man, I would love to see that harmonic come out from Bolas, but unfortunately, just I think not having it in the hand. I think what really got Bolas a little bit too aggressive, in my opinion. He kind of, I think, shot for castle when he should have done some cleanup work and ended up getting punished hard for it with Death's Advocate's late game stuff and globals like Armory and Blacksmith.
Right. What's funny is the the reason Bolas lost was he gave Death Advocate more units to work with. If
That's true.
you looked at his hand, he really didn't have anything to work with, pretty much. And Bolas giving him, Betty Mothras and Nigerias and keep giving him 1 cost units, that actually benefited more to Death Advocate than it did to Bolas, and that kind of cost Bolas the match, in my opinion.
Right, right. It definitely kind of comes into question what the point of Ajira is in this deck, Like, why include it? There's no monster support here otherwise. Is Ajira literally just to feed you bodies, or is there some kind of other purpose that we're just not seeing? That match kind of exposes the big flaw in Ajira, in my opinion, in some decks.
Hmm. Right, and if high roll and give your opponent Betty Mothras, and you have no way of, as we saw here, we have no direct damage to get rid of it outside of harmonic balance and flamestorm, unless you get lucky with the headless or chaotic storm or drain life, and you just whittle it down with drain life. That can come back to haunt you, because now every time you play that Nigeria, it's going to buff up that Betty Mothra even more, just even more, and it's going to become a problem, which we saw in that first match. So I
Right.
think Bolas needs to go back and figure out what 4 cost card can he substitute for Nigeria. Maybe he can play a Rat King if he's concerned about bodies.
Maybe he
That way,
can stack up on some of the other ones. Like, I noticed he's only running, I think, 2 copies of Shaman, 2 copies of Horseman.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like, there are definitely spots where I think that he can probably beef up on and create more consistency for the deck rather than, spam Ajira and give opponents more bodies.
Right. I know this isn't like this deck's a fun deck.
Right.
That's no way around it. I mean, I don't think we're expecting Bolas to win this season with this type of deck. It's just there's just too many flaws and it's too much of a gamble. So he needs to, go back to the drawing board and edit this deck if he wants to make any real sort of push throughout the season.
Right, right. So, with that being said, folks, we do have another match to get to. Of course, Death Advocate with set point, excuse me. You want to see if you can bring it home for us in game number 2?
Well, if it was anything like the first deck, I mean the first match, it should be a little bit better.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, folks, and game number 2 underway. Bolas with a bit of a switch up. My English is gone. Red yellow coming out of our boy Bolas here, and what do you think is in store for Reaper?
I really hope it's not no interaction. But you never know. You
I mean,
never know.
listen. Remember what we saw to Bolas last time we went into red yellow?
Yes.
Oh wait. Oh no. It is imp. Oh no. Okay, listen, I thought it was gonna be dinosaurs, alright? I had the hope, but probably not so much now that we see the imp. Unfortunately, the imp target pops faithful, leading into a questing night.
A
Okay.
little night action here. A little night action.
Interesting.
He's
Alright.
gonna decide to take a more defense approach here and play the Acolyte, get a unit down, a range unit. Hopefully Bolas doesn't have a blue firebolt. If he does, now we are kind of in a sticky situation with our hand.
I think DA has his blue fireball if you look at it.
Uh-oh. Well, that screams no interaction.
Yeah, Incinerate's a bit of an odd choice there. Although we didn't really go through with the connection to actually kill off the Acolyte, unless we're prepping for something like a Flamestorm. Um, this is a bit of an interesting situation here. We could generate a unit off of the Acolyte, but do we lose that unit plus Acolyte to a Flamestorm turn 4 is the question.
I mean, it's there. Might as well hit it. Then I would. Oh man.
Would you
I
even waste a
mean,
blue Firebolt at that point, you know? That's
you got to. You got to. I mean, you have no heals. You got to. The question is, do you want to waste a fear plus a blue firebolt in hopes that you draw a unit? And
probably not.
if you draw a unit, then you can, save a blue firebolt. But if you don't, like
Oh.
what we did right here, now you gotta, you just wasted 2 cards on a questing night.
Yeah, that is the idea. Well, to be fair, in hindsight, I mean, even this acolyte damage, if Bolas pops a flamestorm now, he also removes his board presence. So that's another way to think
Well, he
about it.
would. He's going to attack castle and then flamestorm.
Yeah, but I mean,
He's not just.
but still, like it slows Bolas's deck down, gives DA time to breathe, and we know if you do that with this kind of deck, they build up their spawners and start getting that that train moving here. Drain life though towards the hovel. Okay, this is definitely not where we want to be. We could take it out without you wasting a blue
Yeah.
fire at this point, and I assume the armory would actually come in and do some great work actually.
Yeah. Put the armory down and then, yeah. Unless Reaper's scared of a flamestorm potentially.
Well, I would say
But
armory
go ahead
because
and yeah,
flamestorm actually protects that zombie up at the top. And the
it does.
acolyte, it protects a lot of things on this board actually. So I think yeah, this is the correct play. Getting the armory down. Sure, you risk losing the hovel, but at this point, like I don't know what Bolas does. He's got 4 cards in hand, and look at. I mean, they have the same card size or hand size, excuse me, and look how much better DA's board is than Bolas's.
Right, right. We see one flamestorm and we see a fear.
Yeah. So I mean, we knew it was coming, but the armory play to protect ourselves was good.
Gosh.
Now we just hope that Dragon's Fire isn't on deck because now we can't do anything if we're DA this turn, which is
Or another or
absolutely.
another flamestorm or another flamestorm.
Oh God. Yeah, that's
Because
the last thing we want to
we're
see.
already down we're only down to 10 health here. And you got to imagine Bolas has an arbiter somewhere. He's got 2 more copies of flamestorms probably. Probably a furnace knight.
Furnace.
Is this more of a night deck?
I think it is. We saw
Is this
questing, we saw furnace. I think this is more knights, which, I mean, thank God it is, because DA would have a fit if it was no interactions. So,
hmm
we got to give him credit for that, where credit's due. This actually might be Bolas's Rackaboom now that I'm looking at it, because he had the idea, or is it? I don't know. I really don't know.
What's throwing me off is the incinerate. That's what's throwing me off. I mean, yes, it's more damage, direct damage, but it's only two damage. It's only two damage.
Yeah, you
So
don't
I
really
mean,
see that inclusion unless we're
yeah,
focused in the deck directly responsible for the burn.
there's a lot of better. There's a more heavier burn that you can pick than incinerate. So that's what's kind of throwing me. That's like a curveball. That's kind of throwing me. And if it's confusing us, I'm sure it's confusing Reaper.
Right, but obviously something that he's not too worried about considering the position he's in. I would like to see a
Hmm.
swordsman if this is a knight deck. Oh no, it's a furnace. Swordsman would have been
Oh,
absolutely fantastic at that point, but no, it looks like we didn't
yeah. This
have it.
is okay. So this is looking like to be that looks like a knight. And then the question is, does he have a Raka in here?
I don't know if
Uh,
it's his, Raka specifically because we haven't seen any undead or dragon to
mhm.
support this, but it'd be nice if it was. We just don't know. As of Reaper's turn, though, he's gonna completely ignore the Furnace Knight. That could be very problematic because now we're setting up a great Lumi position. If that is the case here, debating a blue fire does connect to it. A bit of a spastic one in my opinion. I don't think we needed that, but if Bolas can clear this board, actually, we'll be in a much better state
Yes,
considering
but
Reaper's got only Dragon's
it's
Fire and 2 Raka.
it's going to be hard though because that 3/5 Drakes is actually going to be kind of hard to take out because now you have to leave your Furnace Knight. Well, now you're going to take two. Okay, never mind, never mind. Uh, I was a little ahead of myself. Hopefully we have a fear for the Necromancer, and then we can deal with the Drake. Um, I mean, we have to deal with the Necromancer. We have to have something for that, or that's game ending potential right there.
That's not it, Chief. That better not be it. Okay, that's going
Uh,
into the Drake.
oh,
Okay.
this is it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over.
Uh, oh, maybe not.
You got to block.
He does
A
block.
fear ends it. Fear ends it.
Nope,
Okay,
alter.
we're still good. But now, I mean, I would rush. I would rush this. You Reaper. I mean, I would play your Unholy Altar in a little more aggressive approach, like right in front of your castle,
I
and
don't usually
take
agree
out.
with the buildings in front of castle, but I mean,
I mean, in this position, Bolas has one card. He used both of his imps, and he's sacrificing his Darkbender. I would play the Unholy Altar a little aggressive, so that way my next turn, I can play that Raka and hit right on face.
oh, maybe. Interesting thought. We do have to get the Necromancer connected to the Darkbender, though that is, I think, an absolute
Because
must.
because Bolas has to deal with that 6/6 Necromancer, and he's only going to get one card. The likelihood of him being able to kill is probably very low.
The
And
only thing that I
even if he
think could
does,
bring
it's
out
got to be very weak.
Yeah, I think you do set up the altar in this case more aggressively here, because even if you are unable to kill him, this
Yeah,
turn, Raka onto the altar is absolutely huge.
right. Yeah, I think this is game set match here, unless he has an Arbiter.
Arbiter even doesn't do much, because Rakanoth just completely negates that.
Yeah, here's the Arbiter.
Yeah, Arbiter doesn't do
Take out
anything.
the Unholy Altar.
Yep,
Wow, what a play. What a smart play. What a smart play to
yep.
take out the to negate the Rack-a-Bomb. But now,
It doesn't matter. We're gonna set up an acolyte in the back here. That thing's gonna generate a
yeah.
zombie. We'll take sticks to the face, tie things up. It
Yeah,
doesn't. It doesn't look good for Bolas, and I feel
you,
bad
you,
for him. I do,
yeah.
but man, like I don't know what he was thinking, man. I don't know what he was thinking here with whatever knight hybrid he was working on here. I mean, my assumption is knights probably packing Lumi for the swarm, but even then, like, okay, we'll see a frog prince. That'll do some fun stuff. Tarius files. Okay, cool.
Still not enough. This
Doesn't
is
really
game
stop the
over.
Raka. Yep. It's connected to for the face. The zombie comes up. Raka does the bad thing to Bolas. And unfortunately, that is more than enough to end off the game
Hmm.
with lethal. Oh, man. Not the position I wanted to see Bolas in this set. But hey, I don't know. I don't think the knight option was the strongest of counter picks. I think no interaction, while a tried and true, I think maybe he did it for the content, but it didn't really help him, I think, win the game.
Yeah, I think when he was deciding, oh, I mean, we'll talk about this in the post match
Word,
about
word.
why. Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump to that then. All right, folks, coming off of game number 2, Death taking set point, it seems. Unfortunate for Bolas. But not an easy one, I think, for Death to slip away from. I definitely think, well, I say that, and it was literally, I think, one armory that kind of glided him to victory. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, from I think the armory to the Rakanoth to the Necromancer, I just think Death had an incredible hold over this match, which is unfortunate because you're looking at Bolas's deck here in his Knights, and he had some options to work with. Lumi, Kraxus, I wish we saw books maybe for some more draw. Just not exactly, I think, the right draws for Bolas in this game.
Yeah, I was wondering, looking at Bolas's deck, it's a pretty, well balanced deck. My question was, where were all these cards during the match? We didn't see any books. We didn't see any Salahar Rider. I'm not even convinced if we saw a Lumberjack. I can't remember. Didn't see Headless Horseman.
No.
We didn't see any Kraxus.
No.
We didn't see a Darkbender until he had to sack it towards the end of the game. So,
there are so many tools.
Yeah, and he just missed on every opportunity.
And it's not his fault either. It really isn't.
Right. No, it's not. And it's a shame when you have, a balanced deck like this and you can actually, comparing to his first deck, you're relying like, okay, this is a good deck. Like I should be able to, at least put up a fight. And in my opinion, I thought this game was worse than the first one.
For Bolas, just an
Bolas.
unfortunate, and that's just based on what he had to work with too. It wasn't like I think what he had in the early game was strong. It was just unfortunate that his Flamestorm couldn't make as much of an impact as I think he was hoping. The Armory really screwed him.
Right.
Because that one health difference is, the difference between 2 and 3 in this game, or no, excuse me, yeah, the difference between 2 and 3 is massive. It's absolutely massive.
And that's why we question what's with the Incinerate. Why Incinerate and not Witch Bolt or Blue Fire Bolt? Like that is what's confusing me here.
Yeah.
I get it that it's a 2-cost card, but like Witch Bolt is a 1-cost card. Granted, you give a card to your opponent, but that's 2 extra damage. And I would imagine if you're using that Witch Bolt, that's going to be more beneficial than whatever card you give to your opponent more often than not. 10 out of 10 times, like it's going to work in your favor. Well, I said 10 out of 10 times, maybe 7 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times it's going to work more in your favor. It just seems that Bolas just bricked heavily during this matchup,
and the cards that he were given weren't enough to kind of slide him to victory or slide him into maybe an easier transition to see some of these cards. It was just, the 3 Imps, the Incinerate, the 1 Tarius File, the 1 Darkbender. It was just an unfortunate set of cards that I think didn't match up extremely well against Death, while his other stronger tools were locked away.
Right. Let's not take anything away from DeathsAdvocate saying Bolas pretty much just handed him the victory. DeathsAdvocate still had to play a very good game, man. Without him playing that armory, it could have went Bolas's way. I mean, he would have completely board wiped DeathsAdvocate entire board, losing the Rat Hovel as well.
It makes me wonder, though, especially since we saw that hand later on from Death, the end was literally 2 Rakas and a Dragon's Fire. Not enough to really recover if all your shit's gone.
Right. So, DeathsAdvocate, he played well, but I think if that armory would have gotten destroyed, and Bolas could have gotten maybe a Kraxus out, or maybe that Darkbender out a couple turns earlier, it could have been, a tougher matchup because like you said with DeathsAdvocate's hand, 2 Rakas with no way to spawn them, a Dragon's Fire, and that was it.
Yeah. Regardless, though, I do think both these players played very well. It's unfortunate that we had to see Bolas lose another set, but here's hoping to him winning that 3rd set. I do have some Bolas bias. I do apologize, and I'm not supposed to be professional about it. But here I am. So, with that being said, Tweakin, how about we get to these players and talk to them, see how they're feeling about the matches they played today.
Let's do it.
All right, folks, and back after that interesting little set here, as we're back with both players. Bolas, unfortunately, not successful in taking the set. But how'd you feel going into the series here? I mean, you had some smart ideas. We thought your deck was going to be a bit of an interesting conflict against the DA Swarm. But I mean, how are you feeling on it?
Well, for the first match, I definitely made some mistakes and going a bit too aggressive. Probably should have taken care of that Mothra early on when I could have, but I decided going for a castle damage because I feel like my deck's got a lot of burn, so it's able to overcome other decks that have a larger end game if you just get some damage early on. But I definitely should have dealt with those problems earlier to have lasted longer. But I would say I was disappointed that I didn't draw any harmonic balances, because that would have been really useful when he had all those giant.
That's what we were waiting for. Like I
monsters. Yeah.
I even talked about it when you
no,
had that fat
That's a
hand.
card we don't see often.
Yeah.
I know.
No fire, no flame storms, which is what I. Really
How does harmonic interact with globals?
It still reduces them to 2. So yeah, like if you play a global afterwards, then it'll boost them all up. But if there's a global there, it still reduces them to 2. So it's pretty nice.
Oh, so it
Yeah,
would have
so
worked
it's a
even with
unconditional
live
board
up
wipe.
field.
Exactly.
Fancy.
That was, I think, the idea here. Well, unfortunately, we
Yeah,
just didn't see the harmonic in hand,
Nah,
which is a shame
And
here.
yeah, that second game wasn't that great.
I
Probably
was
could
gonna,
have
I was
picked
gonna
a
ask
better
you
matchup.
actually about the second matchup. What made you go with the choice you did? I think you went for a red-yellow. I want to say more of a knight approach. We saw things like questing and furnace knight and frog prince that, like we saw the incinerate and we assumed the worst of no interaction. However, you switched it up with the furnace knight and the frog knight, and we got pretty excited to see what you were bringing. Talk to us about the choice of counter option there. Like, how come you went with the knights over what normally would work against the green-red swarm?
Yeah, I thought that just knights, since I knew that he had a lot of armories and what are they called? Lots of building units that he plays in the back usually. I felt like if I could use a Luminarius Luminarius or just like some other big burn spells, then I'd be able to burn them out, and especially with the heal, so that would help a lot. But just didn't get there. Yeah, so it's a very good deck. I don't know what to do.
I feel like we are
good
giving
games.
you like this caster's curse, honestly, and that just might be us. But I mean, hell, we're still rooting for you in the background here. Just,
Yeah. I'll win one on
getting-
stream. Don't worry.
On the other side of things, though, DA, you're picking up another set win. How do you feel?
Oh, feel good. I picked the right deck. It really pulls its weight. I've always been really happy with it.
Yeah, after saying that you haven't picked up this game since the last constant conflicts that you did.
It's true.
Throwing shade out there, but I shouldn't be. How'd you feel up against the matchup, though? I mean, seeing the purple-red, is that something that your deck normally goes well up against? How
Yeah,
are your thoughts on
I
that?
have to be. So purple red, as tends to be one of a couple things. It's either OTK or some sort of stealth abuse or first strike abuse, and I have the answers that tend to shut down purple red fairly well. Now he did catch me off guard with some monsters and stuff, but unfortunately my globals ended up doing more work. His monsters giving me cheap plays. The globals turned against him. If he had pulled that harmonic, it could have completely changed things. I didn't remember what he was playing, but just at the look of the colors, I was feeling good. And then it could have been a very different game if he'd managed to pull the unconditional board wipe combo. But however, I am very strong in the late game as well, so it would have been interesting either way.
Right. And then talk to us about the red-yellow. I know your favorite faction pairing.
I do actually love red yellow. There's
Right.
just one specific aspect of it I dislike.
No, please,
And I
I don't wanna get
stand by, not only do I loathe it, but that basically every other variation of red yellow is probably better anyways.
I mean, it was nice. It was nice. I mean, you can't be too mad at bolas.
I love Knights. Knights is awesome, and it's a solid pick. I understand the reasoning of trying to come in with both AoE to deal with the swarm and some building answers, and it's been a little bit of a toss-up matchup there, but Knights Knights can struggle a bit if they have trouble getting bodies to stick. And my deck is very good about keeping the board clear. So
Yeah, we definitely thought that Armory, I think, turn 4 in that second game really helped you kind of control the pace of the game with, you know, having things like your Acolyte and Zombie survive an initial Flamestorm. It definitely kind of helped keep you in control, in my opinion.
yeah, it makes a big difference. Towards the end, I had to make some weird calls with where to place that unholy altar, but I was figuring I want to win with the Raka, and I don't think he can deal with both of these, but I can't give him time to kick into any burn or additional arbiters, so I need to go now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that heads
That's
up
what-
play, too. He just
Yeah.
slapped the
I
altar over.
knew I was just on a clock. I'm like, I gotta go. I cannot do the bide my time like I usually like to do with this deck.
Go ahead, Tweakin.
Oh no, I'm just saying that's what we discussed during that last couple of plays during that match was the position of the holy altar.
Yeah. Just like, do you put it in front of the castle? Do you put it in front of your own castle? Like, and then you saw the time kick in. It was like go. So great stuff all around. But Tweakin, that's gonna be it for me. Do you have anything for these guys?
No, I mean you pretty much hit everything that I was gonna say. Bolas, hopefully you pick it up next time. DeathsAdvocate. Great match. Great.
Team Bolas.
Oh no.
The curse of Bolas. It continue. Will it continue next matchup?
Well,
I mean,
maybe it's just me picking really janky decks to play.
Well, listen, man, I'm right there with you. I play Piss Zoo on ladder. Like, come on.
I wasn't even.
That's true.
Hey, Bolas, I wasn't even invited to the next season of Cards and Castles. So there's that.
What do you
They
mean
just
you
put
weren't?
me in
But
the-
you're
Yes.
right here.
As a player.
All right,
They're
you know
like,
what?
yeah, they're like tweaking.
Before we freak
They're like
out.
tweaking.
Oh my
There's
God.
more. We need you in the booth. You know, you're 2-7 or whatever 1-7 record. It's not holding up.
You know what? I'm just gonna go to the leaderboard. Let's show these guys how today's match affects the standings. Cause I'm getting tired of you, boy.